Hi, everybody. Well, recently, CCP boss Xi Jinping attended, China's most important conference about economy. Okay, I think it was the 15th of December he attended, and of course he was the big boss and chairman and so on, and he made a speech. And you all know that China economy is in big trouble. I mean, I have mentioning before, all the foreign capital are fleeing from China, and huge unemployment problem, and consuming amount has been going down, and a lot of company got bankrupt. But you know what Xi Jinping said? Everybody was expecting now Xi Jinping is going to tell us, how to fix the whole problem. And interesting is, in the previous year, every year, Xi Jinping, as a party boss, he only, makes some philosophical and directional guidance, yeah. And then the Prime Minister of China should then give a more specific, concrete, practical plan, yeah, how to do it. This time, no speech from the Prime Minister. Well, the Prime Minister only make a speech by saying, "Oh, it is so important for us to execute the spirit of our party boss Xi Jinping." So, what was the fantastic solution for the Chinese economic problem from Xi Jinping? I tell you, you can summarize his speech only in basically one sentence. It's incredible. There are so many problems, and his solution, again, as I said, this generation of CCP leadership, yeah, they lead the country, they manage the country by slogan. So this time he said, we have to have self-confidence. We must feel a strong base we are standing on. So you guys should sing loud. The Chinese economy has a bright future. Wow, that was the solution. And no other things, really. I mean, it's incredible. And then it was published and in all the party organs, of course, telling people our Secretary General of the party has made a fantastic systematic summary of the situation and has given, after his very in-depth analysis of the Chinese economy, he's giving us a guideline how to fix all the problems. Well, they didn't say problem. They say actually it's a bright future and so on. Yeah, but in the same time, he is calling everybody to have more self-confidence. So actually, between the line, he's disclosing, yeah, a lot of top officials. They don't have the self-confidence about the economy. And interesting is, right after Xi Jinping, this fantastic talk about, sing loud, the bright future of Chinese economy. So the Chinese official statistic came out with fantastic data, fantastic statistic. For example, they claim the consumer index, consumption, has grown 10%. Can you imagine? If you go to China now, you will see much less people in all the supermarket and all the shopping mall, and all the restaurant, and then they claim that the consumption has gone up 10%. And by the way, talking about restaurant, and they say when it comes to restaurant and beverage, that means restaurant and coffee bar, tea bar, whatever, for drinking, dining and wining, this branch, this consumption has grown up, listen, 25%. Wow, fantastic. But ladies and gentlemen, you remember I mentioned in the previous episode that the Chinese economy is standing on 3 pillars. One is consumption, one is investment, and then import-export. We all know. I mean, without statistics, you notice that you guys are buying less from China, right? And China is buying less from us. So import-export, you can. I mentioned that, yeah. This year, from Europe, the number of order to China has decreased with 50%, and in North America, 40%. And then they can claim that everything is going up. Now, and the investment, I mentioned that already. A lot of people run away. But how come that they claim restaurant business had gone up 25%? I mean, consumption had gone up. Let's take restaurant as an example. Now, this is the official statistic. But then I look at a Chinese website. It's called, I think, Hongchan. This website used to monitor the business of restaurant and bars and coffee and cafe and so on. Yeah? And what does that say? It's totally different statistic. It says 370,000 restaurant has closed down this year from January till, I think, October. So practically almost the whole year. 370,000 restaurants went bankrupt, basically. And another statistics say that when it comes to total companies, it was 460,000 companies that went bankrupt. Yeah. Now, and they can claim, I mean, can you imagine, on one side, 370,000 restaurants went bankrupt. On the other side, the party say the consumption in restaurant has grown up with 25%. Are they taking all Chinese people and the people of the whole world as nuts? Yeah? I tell you, there's another story about restaurant. Make it even more specific. And there is a very successful restaurant chain called Long Jia Le, which means happy farmer family. Yeah. So actually, it was about 20 years ago someone started such restaurant. And what is specific with this restaurant is usually they are not in the city, but in the outskirts of the mega city. Where you know the green area starts, yeah. So usually people drive the car, the whole family, or even 2-3 family agree on a Sunday or Saturday, whatever, yeah, and drive to those restaurants, and then they combine with the sightseeing in the countryside, and they end up with the dining together, lunching together, yeah, and it's kind of it doesn't cost so much. It's not really, you know, it's really a restaurant level adapted to the huge masses of the middle class of China, yeah? And do you know how many of such restaurants closed down, that went bankrupt? 80,000 this year, 80,000, yeah? And this is, I mean, how can you claim that the consumption in restaurant grow with 25% when 80,000 restaurants of that chain went bankrupt? I mean, this is, you know, what I want to remind everybody is CCP is the biggest liar in the world. Don't trust them one single word. Now, one of our attention in our channel is to tell people what is really going on in China, but also we talk about a lot the relationship between China and USA. Why? Well, because this has a tremendous impact for the whole world, no matter where you live. Yeah. So how about the relationship? You know, last time we mentioned that Xi Jinping was in San Francisco, and this time he changed his role, you know, a role in a play, yeah, in a show, yeah. Before he was playing the big warrior and showing muscle, and now this time he played the role of a nice guy talking about. I mean, he said to Biden and all the American, there are 1,000 reasons that America and China should have good relationship. There isn't one single reason that we should have bad relationship. Okay, so talking costs nothing. Now, what happened? What does the American say now afterward? Just for maybe 2 days ago, the American ambassador to China, he's supposed to be a China expert, and he is. He knows a lot about China. Ambassador Mr. Burns is his name, Nicolas Burns. He was invited by, I think, a media called The Independent, at the place called Brookings, in New York, I guess. And he delivered a keynote speech. Now, it's half an hour speech and then 1 hour question and answer and so on. But to sum it up, what does he think about China-US relationship? If you sum it up in one word, is pessimistic. He is basically telling us, don't expect any, nice time coming. He is pretty pessimistic. And he make it very clear, and one point I like he stated, and that is, he say, CCP is our systemic rival, not the Chinese people. Not China, but Chinese Communist Party is our systemic rival. So what the systemic rival means? That means due to the social system, they have another social system. They have dictatorship system. They have communist system. And we have capitalistic and democratic system. So these two systems, on one side democratic and capitalistic, and the other side communistic and dictatorship. So these two systems cannot, go hand in hand. It's impossible. And this is actually called systemic rivals. Some people understand it as systematic rival. That's, not really the meaning, in my opinion. And one thing he said also, very interesting, he said, we, America, we are very happy to see that our friends in Europe, European Union, also, since the last 2 years or so, also identify China and CCP, the leadership of China, as a systemic rival. So, and he would basically, he's a diplomat. He's using some diplomatic expression. But if I say it to a kind of a straightforward and blank words, basically what he's telling us is, it's impossible to have China under communist rule as our friend, as our ally. Forget it. We will stay systemic rival. We will stay rival, and we will compete in many areas. And actually, he specified that too. He say in the area of technology, trade, and human rights. And we will continue to compete and be rival. So. And he was also very happy that now America has basically got a huge alliance, from NATO in Europe, European Union, all the way to Philippines, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and so on. India. So he emphasized very much also this Quad, although it cannot be called an alliance, but it's moving in the direction of alliance. And Vietnam, By the way, just to round up, Vietnam, Vietnam is still officially a communist country and used to be close to China, but they are moving away from China and coming closer to US. And that's why Xi Jinping, he actually cut off his participation of this very important conference on economy, all the top people. He left after half the way because he want to fly early to Hanoi to talk to his communist comrade, And why? Guess why? Well, he's afraid of losing Vietnam as an ally, and that Vietnam fall into the arms of America. So he went there with a big checkbook, yeah, and start to offer again a billion of dollar to help Vietnam to build a high-speed train. Yeah, so well, this is a kind of desperate action. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of 2023, and it has been a turbulent years. At the end of this year, I mean, when Xi Jinping was in San Francisco, sounds a little bit relaxed, but don't have any illusion. Because of the system and because of the nature of CCP, there won't be a true durable peace in our world. Yeah, it's inevitable. There will be continued a rival relationship between the two big powers, and actually not only the two big powers, but the two camp. Yeah, China, Russia, North Korea, Iran maybe in one side, and the rest of the world basically. Yeah, all the democratic country on the other side. So this will continue, and this will give us new turbulence in the new year. But the good thing of it, I mean, the bad thing is turbulence, no peace. Yeah, and the good thing of it is there are many signs showing that CCP is approaching its own end, and that will give more peace to the world. Thank you for today. Bye-bye.